Congratulations! You made it to the first practical episode. It took some time, but you learned many very important things, and now finally we are going to code together. To me, that sounds very promising. Let's begin. First, I want to introduce you the application I'm working on. It's a simple sample to-do app, which help us to see how to implement principles of prompt engineering and AI-assisted development in real-life tasks, or at least as close to real-life tasks as possible. What we are going to do today, we are going to add a new feature, so following absolutely real workflows. But first, let me show you what is it about. So it's a to-do app. It allows to add tasks, and then those tasks can be marked as completed and deleted if that would be your decision. It's a simple TypeScript and React application. So you can see here in the source code pretty standard things like application TSX file and all those stereotypical TypeScript things. You don't need to know TypeScript. Basically, you don't even need to do it with me with this project. You can try to apply the very same principles in your own project with completely different framework or language, whatever your preference. If you want to follow me, if you don't have currently a project to work with, then link to this project will be in the description of the YouTube video. So, 2 words about how do you build this project and how do you make it running. To build project, we need to use command npm run build, which will build it for us. Very simple. And then with npm start, I can start application, so it will be up and running as you see. Now, before beginning AI-assisted development here with Killer Code, I do 2 things. Always. It's my checklist. I always check what's the current state of the project in Git. So there are no unfinished files, not unmerged changes, no nothing. I want Git to be very clear and clean, because that's the best way to see the change set AI model wrote for us and the changes we are going to merge to this project. If you're not familiar with what Git is, it's a version control system. There are plenty of great tutorials on the internet. I don't want to stop here with. At the moment, if you don't use Git, absolutely fine. But in general, it's a great tool to see what's the final change set is about to be. So highly recommended. Now, second thing I better not forget to do is to check which model you are running with. So currently you see I have Anthropic Cloud SNet 4. And that's the model I intentionally want to keep today. It's like standard for today model for me to work with. Now your preference would be maybe something slightly cheaper. Maybe you want to go with Qwen free. Maybe there are other models available when you are watching these videos. But one thing I do want you to understand is which model you are running and why you are doing that. In last videos, we were talking about how to choose the right model. So please, if you haven't watched them, watch them so you will not end up running Opus 4.1, which will cost you some scary dollars for usage. We don't want that for today. So now, very many people begin right here with code mode, beginning just applying changes wildly. Maybe if you want to do a minor change, to just type your task here and push the enter button and see the job done is acceptable. But that is oversimplification, which will not work well for the most of the tasks. There is a better approach. There is a better approach to do, and personally I prefer it. And it will be first designing on what exactly we are going to do together with AI, and AI will ask me questions, and I will give answers, and I will see AI's proposal, I will review it, remove something, add something, ask some questions from my side. When this proposal will be formalized and discussed and done, then I can say, okay, that works for me. When I can start a new task, mostly probably switch to code mode and then ask code mode to execute this plan. That might sound like a really big long work, but first then you get used to it. It doesn't go slow. And second, believe me, trying to make code mode directly without a plan to try to do what you want, then see what it's doing one approach, what you disagree, then say, no, don't do it that way, do this way, when it will try to abort its own changes. Like all those games are interesting only in the beginning when you have free tokens to burn. But then you're paying for this AI model to work from your own pocket. You don't want to afford all those going back and forth and trying to find out perfect solution in progress. No, that's not what we want to have. We want to use proper plan. And for many, many cases, it will be significantly more efficient way to do it. For most of the cases, I think. So first I switch to architect plan, and then as we work on the to-do app, I would like to be able to set priorities for my to-do. So what will be high priority, what will be medium priority, and what will be low priority for the beginning. Just as simple as that. So then I can describe to architect mode what do I want to achieve. First, I will begin with explanation to the architect of what this project is about. Yes, model can analyze the project itself and find out just from the file names on what we are doing here, but in general we can help with that, saving some API cycles, going back and there and reading files, but just describing what this project is about. Now, there is a very good hint. You can do the same with a custom rule. You can do the same with a project description. We will cover that in the upcoming videos. For now, it will be enough for me just to tell to the AI model what that is an to-do app, and then describe what exactly I want to do. So, plan addition of priorities. Every to-do item can be low, medium, or high priority. It's added on the creation of the item and doesn't change. Each item should have a visual label of the priority. Very good. Let's take a look at that. Now, the thing why I love working with architect mode, it doesn't rush to change things as code mode. It's first thinks, reads project, analyzes things, so designs the solution, not just rushes to do something, to write some code. That's not what I want. So as you just see, first thing architect mode is to it went and read multiple files, interfaces to the model, up to the item, constants, all those files. And now it has a question. How would you like users to select the priority then creating a new to-do item? Add a drop-down or select field next to the input field what defaults to medium priority. Use keyboard shortcuts while typing. Add priority buttons badges below the input field what users can click before pressing enter. Show a priority selector what appears after pressing enter before the item is saved. So for now, I want something super simple. In the real life, I would maybe go with drop-down. So I think drop-down here looks pretty reasonable. And I think let's go with the default medium priority drop-down next to the input field. That sounds very good. How would you like priority to be visually displayed for each to-do item in the list? Color it badges or labels, red for high, yellow for medium, green for low. icons with different colors, and text labels like high, medium, low with different colors, priority indicators. I think colored badges sounds pretty good. So let's go with colored labels. Now I think it will begin with writing a plan. Yes, perfect. So architect writes a plan so we can review this plan together and see what's happening there. Let's see what will be our suggestion here. I'm not entirely sure why it creates two files. Priority feature implementation to-do list. Okay, so that's a to-do list. Okay. And that's finally a priority implementation plan. And as always, architect is trying to create a visual diagram to show how a priority feature will integrate with existing architecture, what no one asked him to do. That's one of the reasons I was talking, you maybe remember me talking that about modes and custom modes. What I usually use slightly modified architect mode, which is explicitly asked not to do mermaid diagrams, data flows, all those things. That's an overcomplication which burns my tokens while brings nothing, at least in my case. So component flow diagram, data flow, interface updates, that's like all not what we are going to use there. But priority implementation plan is something what looks very interesting here. So let's take a closer look. To-do app priority feature implementation plan at priority levels, two to-do items. Drop-down selector next to input field, default medium colored badges for visual indication. I think what I actually don't want here to work with, I don't want to overcomplicate it. It's just red high, green low, medium, no indication. Priority set during creation and remains immutable. Update I2Do interface to include priority field, add priority constants high, medium, low to constants TS. Update I2Do model interface to accept priority. That in general will be nice. CSS classes, style priority drop down, so it will be stylish here. Add priority state to track selected priority in drop down, and so on. No, I don't want to have yellow badges, so here I can review component changes, what's going to be. User experience drop down defaults, visual feedback with colored badges, clean integration with existing UI. Yes, that sounds pretty nice. But there is a thing I don't like. So as you see here, plan introduces new priority field, which will be nothing but a string field. It might work, but with those priority constants and all the other things, it will need to import a ton of things, and it all will be in strings. Like in Reliable, there are types, incredible feature of TypeScript types support. And types are actually really cool because that what makes so much better TypeScript than JavaScript, plain JavaScript for AI-assisted development, is what those type checks help tremendously AI to find its own mistakes. And just going with string type field is not the best plan. It's, I guess, really better to introduce new type. So I will now, as you see, killer code wants to switch to code mode because architect is ready to implement priority feature. But no, we will not do it like that. First, instead of approving or rejecting, I will give a new specification. A new type. Add priority as a new type. Yeah, excellent point. Using a proper type for a priority is much better than a generic string. If you know that, why didn't you do that? Well, working with AI. Okay. That sounds better to me. So now I don't want to have this file at all. It's just useless. Priority diagrams I don't want to have. And this plan, now I can to be reviewed again. Priority levels, drop-down selector, colored badges, interface to include priority field, priority constants. No. So I can mention file just as I mentioned it. Just as I told you to mention it, doesn't include priority type. You're absolutely right. I need to update the main implementation plan to include the priority type. That like feels to me like Sonnet is lazy today. But well, I'm here engineer, not the AI model, so I will see what should be done. Good. Create priority type definition. I to do interface to include priority constants. Priority constants belong to the type. I don't want them there to be as text. So UI component update priority dropdown. Done. Well, that looks much better. Component changes. Very well. Oh. Okay. At this point, I will just stop architect. AI models aren't sacred. You can interrupt them whenever you want. You are the engineer, so you run the show. It does what I don't want to do. So I just stop it. I have pretty decent implementation plan. Now I will use this plan to apply the changes with code mode. So first I will create a new task. Now this thing here is the context window. Although now Sonnet supports a very big context window, we will discuss it in the next video. It's still smaller window, less money we spend, less it's filled, less money we spend. So we want it to be like that. We don't want it to be overfilled. Actually, when it goes closer to half, models usually begin to hallucinate, so you don't want it. I discuss it in details in the future videos. But what now important for me is just I create a new task and I switch to code mode and I give this file priority implementation plan here, implement plan. And now very important thing, again, I using slightly customized code mode for myself. Here I have a default setting that will not only do implementation, but will begin testing for you. Sounds great, but testing of web applications at the moment goes like build, okay, with build I'm fine, but when it will try to start it, when it will try to launch browser tool, make screenshots, analyze those screenshots, move cursor 10 centimeters to the side, to another side of the screen, make screenshot, analyze this screenshot, it's short, it will take tremendous time doing mostly useless work while burning tokens. I don't want it to happen. So I will tell here, build it, but don't test. I test manually. Well, that should do the job I want. So soon new changes will begin to appear in our Git window, and we will be able to review them. Some people prefer to switch off auto approve and approve every change step by step, but I don't like it. Without having the whole plan, you don't understand what the model going to do in the end anyway. And we already created a pretty decent plan with Architect, so I will just let it follow the plan without reviewing every particular change, and then I can review the whole change set at full. Now a model begins to to be proactive in the part what it's been not asked for. Maybe I should have given instruction to not do anything else. Now it's trying to add here backward compatibility. So existing to-dos will make some changes. They will not have priority, so it's trying to be backward compatible. In our case, that's not needed, but well, we will review. Okay, so very quickly, very done. 25 cents with Sonnet 4. If you're going Qwen 3, it will be significantly cheaper. And job is hopefully done. So we can build it just one more time, just for safety. And we can try to switch to the application and restart. I need to start it, of course. In your case, that shouldn't happen, but if you already launch it to the application, it will have some items in local storage what will not be compatible with the new model, because I didn't want to implement proper data migration because we don't have database here. So to clean it up, if it happens for you, open developer tools, switch to application storage, and push clear site data. That will kill existing tasks. But now we will have working application where we can create just test M for medium so no visual representation. Now test easy with level low. It's better called L. Yes. And then finally test high with the level high. Now that looks not bad to me. Labels, pretty nice. I would move labels in the beginning. And well, now they can make those adjustments using additional tasks, but very important thing here is to review this change set and make git commit. So the current working state we like, if we like it, because we need to review the code, will be added. And now any new additional changes, then a new hyperactive model will decide to write tons of tests for it, or change something else, or extend this wonderful feature. We will see the change set and we will decide if that's what we want or that's what we don't want. So I can switch to Git, review everything, and see if I want it to happen like this or if I don't want to happen like this. For example, these ensure backward compatibility by adding default priority. I don't want it. Like I want to keep it simple. There will be no backward compatibility need. So I don't want it. Now this is a good change. This is a good change. This is a good change. Okay, this file looks good to me. I can edit. Then one by one, I can add all files what are looking good enough to me. So selected priority medium is a priority in constructor. Well, that's discussable, but for us for today will work. And then we can add to do with the selected priority. And when we can handle priority change, so that with React change event. So this change set looks pretty nice, pretty simple, pretty small. Yeah, now I need to do some visual adjustments. Believe me, you don't want model to try to do those visual adjustments for you by watching by the browser tool. You better tell it explicitly what to do. Like, for example, here we see it's just too much to the right. So I might want to add some in priority dropdown. I want to have some margin to the right. So I can say right 10 peaks and see how it works. That looks much better. So I can just or add it on my own in CSS or ask AI model to do it for me. Alongside with our changes. But in general idea, currently browser use by models is pain point in many scenarios. So those little adjustments you might want to give some smaller tuning or just do it yourself. If you are lucky enough and don't do web development, well then good for you, and you might avoid those browser dances at all. So now I want to add all those changes, reviewing them step by step to them file, to them Git. Usually I would do some corrections, but for now it looks very well, and I still want to show you one little nice feature. So here, if you are lazy enough to write a git commit message, and for me, lazy engineer is not a disadvantage, not a downside. It's actually a strength. I myself a very lazy engineer. That's what makes me design better solutions, so I don't need them to return to fix them. So if you are lazy enough to write good Git messages, but have high standards, high enough to demand good Git messages, now you can just push this button and Kilo will generate a commit message for you, analyzing staged changes. That's a wonderful feature. I love it so much. And it said, feature UI, add priority selection for to-dos with visual indicators. Then it explains everything in details. Usually it's not required, so I will just delete it. But the overall idea, there is a new feature, add priority selection for to-dos with visual indicators. Wonderful. So we have our changes committed, we are satisfied with this step. Now we can keep playing with the UI to make it look good. This task I will leave for you. I hope you learned many new things today, and I wish you all the best. Next episode going to be about context window, and you don't want to miss it. So see you soon.